In this video, we're going to be working with fractions. Okay, and now we're going to start with adding and subtracting fractions with unlike denominators. Example, this guy right here. I have 5 4s plus 2 7s, and I want to add these two fractions. Well, in order to add them, I need to have the same denominator, the same number in the bottom. The easiest way to find the least common denominator is to simply multiply the two bottom numbers. So, if I multiply 4 times 7, that gives me 28. Now, whatever you do to one side, you must do to the other. So you multiply 7 times 4, right? Well, you gotta do it to the top. And in this case, you did 7 and 4, so you gotta do it to the top, right? So 7 times 5 gives you 35. 2 times 4 gives you 8. Now we simply have to add. The denominator stays. So 35 plus 8, that gives you 43, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, 43. Now you have to check to see if you are able to simplify the 43 over 28. 28 can be divisible by 2, but not 43. 28 can be divisible by 4, but not 43. I do believe this can stay as an improper fraction. It does not reduce. Now, I would like for you to change this improper fraction to a mixed number. Put a little line over here. So what do I do in order to change this improper fraction to a mixed number? I need to do long division. Okay? I'm going to ask myself, how many times 28 fits into 48? One time. 1 times 28 is 28. Ooh, running out of space. You subtract that, and that gives you what? Go ahead and do it. So, you subtracted it, and that gave you what? Okay, I'm going to say, you told me, and yes, it is 15. I don't have much space, but it'll be there. Now, you don't continue, because if you continue, you'll get into mixed numbers, so you leave it to that. Remember, the remainder goes on the top. The denominator stays, and how many times it goes in? It's the whole part of the fraction. So now this 43 over 28 reduces to 15 over 28. And sometimes you are able to simplify 15 over 28. But in this case, 15 only reduces by 3 and 5, 28 by 4 and 7. So no common. So your final answer is 15 over 28. If you were to have been asked to change this improper fraction to a mixed number. Okay? Now let's look at another example. And let's say we're going to subtract 7 11ths minus 3 over 10. Well, in order to subtract these two fractions, I need to have the same denominator. I'm going to multiply this side by 11, and I multiply this side by 10. So 7, this gives me 110 in the bottom, 10 times 11, and then 10 times 7 gives me 70, and then 3 times 11 gives me 33. Now my denominators are the same, and I can simply go ahead and subtract. So go ahead and subtract 70 minus 33 and tell me what do you get. So once you have subtracted that without using a calculator, you get 37. Now you want to check if 37 over 110 simplifies, and I believe it does not. Now, is this a proper or improper fraction? This is a proper fraction because the numerator is smaller than the denominator. Okay? Now let's work another example where we are going to multiply fractions. Oh, let me next right here. So let's say I give you 1 over 16 times 2. No, let's not use 2. 2 is the next example. Let's say 3 over 2 in the bottom. Yeah, 3 over 2. Okay, so now we are multiplying. This is very important. We need to know what are we doing. Okay, so we are multiplying fractions, right? So now we forget about denominator being the same, and we strict and go and multiply. Okay, so you're going to multiply top times top, bottom times bottom. So 1 times 3, 3. 2 times 16, 32. And then you ask yourself, can I simplify? Well, those 30, did I say 33? I meant to say 32. 32 simplifies by 3. I don't think so. So you stay with your proper fraction of 3 over 32. So, yay. Another example. Let's see if I can get another example. Let's say I have 5 over 2 times, okay, my brain is loosened, okay, 6 over 7, okay? So I do not care about denominators because I am multiplying, and I'm going to say 5 times 6 is 30, 2 times 7 is 14. Wow, this is a good one. Why? Because here we can simplify. So if we divide the numerator by 2 and the denominator by 2, the number you're dividing, simplifying, has to be the same. You cannot do 2 in the top and then say 7 in the bottom. It does not work like that. So then 30 divided by 2 is 15. 14 divided by 2 is 7. Now you cannot reduce no more, so 15 over 7 is your reduced improper fraction. Now if you notice, this improper fraction, you can change it to a mixed number, and this will be 2 over 7 is the same, remainder 1. So you have an option. You have 2 ways you can submit this answer, depending on what they ask. It's always very important for you. Don't do the next step unless you're being asked, because you could easily make a mistake. You can have your answer as an improper fraction, 15 over 7. Or you can have your answer as a mixed number, 2 over 2 1/7. Your choice. I mean, depending on the directions. Okay? Now let's do dividing fractions. So let's say you have 12 over 5 divided by 3/2. Okay? Well, dividing fractions, again, we do not care about the denominator being the same or different, but we cannot divide fractions. So what do? Well, we change them to multiplication, and you do this. So let's pay attention here. You keep the first fraction, you switch the sign to multiplication, and you flip the second fraction. Okay? And then you simply multiply. 12 times 2, 24. 5 times 3, 15. Okay? Now, if you notice that 24 over 15 can be simplified, so I'm going to take 24 over 15 and I'm going to divide top and bottom by 3. 24 divided by 3 gets me 8, and 15 divided by 3 gives me 5. And now again, you have a choice depending on the directions if you want to change this improper fraction to a mixed number. And I'll just give you the answer just in case you work to do it. It will be 1/3. Okay? And we can do one more example where we are doing order operations with fractions. I'm going to erase this. So let's say we have 2/3 plus 5/2 times 9/2. Order operations, we want to use lambdas or pandas, whichever you like. And using lambdas, it tells me that I need to multiply first before any addition. So I'm going to rewrite my 2/3 plus 5 times 9 gives me 45. 2 times 2 gives me 4. Okay. Now, the next step will be to add. In order to add these two fractions, I need to have the same denominator. So I'm going to multiply this side by 3 and this side by 4. And then you're going to do your multiplication. Denominator is going to be 12. Let me erase this a little bit, write it better. Denominator is going to be 12. And now we're going to do 4 times 2, it's 8. And we're going to do 45 times 3, and that's 135. And then we're simply going to add the numerators, and that's 8 plus 135, and that gives me 143 over 12. And now I have to ask myself if 143 over 12 reduces to something. It's a little bit of a number. I don't think it reduces, but I do know we can switch it to a mixed number. So go ahead and try simplifying 143 over 12 to a mixed number. Hopefully you have paused the video and try yourself, but once you change this improper fraction to a mixed number, the mixed number you're going to get is 11/12. Go ahead and try that, and if you were to get a different answer or notice a little bit of mistake, please let me know in the comments so I can go ahead and fix that. So in this video we have gone over a few things about fractions. Any questions, please do not hesitate to ask.